Could Magic and Bird or even Jordan do what LeBron is doing today to the league back in their era?
Which aspect of it?
The fact that, I mean, if I were to say to you right now, who is the most powerful figure in the NBA? If I would, it's LeBron, right? He has the most power. That nobody has more power in the NBA than LeBron. He still keeps it. Now his job is to stay healthy, relevant, do the things that he does, and he's a visionary guy. He's going to do big things. So he's doing his part, but he's the most powerful guy. But if I told you in 2000, the most powerful person in the NBA, would you have said Kobe? Or would you have said a different name? And if I was to tell you, let's go into 1991 when Jordan won his first, would you have said the most powerful person in the NBA is Michael, or would it be Jerry Buss? Would it have been another Jerry? Or because it's changing based on who has the most power.
Well, I'd say first in any era right there is the commissioner. I mean, the commissioner in each of those cases has tremendous power, and because the commissioner represents the combined true power and of the ownership, right? So they will last past any player.
Even today?
Oh yeah. I mean, if LeBron couldn't take the league down, LeBron could disrupt things and impact business for a little bit, but the league will go on, right? And the
sure, of course.
But when you get into the most, I would have said Jordan. I mean, back in the day, as I reflect on it, in the early 90s when Jordan was in his heyday, he was, massively influential, powerful, and, global. But he wasn't, he was the draw because he and Pippen were such a solid base. They're able to flip all the other pieces around them and dominate and win effectively six in a row, because Jordan was gone for two of them. So he was that dominant as a talent and as a draw. LeBron has been different because wherever he's gone, it has followed, which is different. Jordan was in one place and it all came to him. This notion of LeBron just going from Cleveland to Miami, 4 straight in the finals, goes right back to Cleveland where they were literally the worst, and they get to first and they go to the finals. It was, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Then he does the same thing coming out here to LA, albeit it took a year. That shows I don't know if back in that era, Jordan could have done that, because it was a different time. People wouldn't have been able to come with him the way they do now.
Yeah, and also, I mean, David Stern was a different animal. David Stern was he was feared and respected. It was a different way. And I'm not saying Adam Silver doesn't have that kind of a personality, but Adam Silver comes across very different than Stern did. I just don't know if LeBron was to be playing in the 80s or 90s, could he have gone around and told everybody, hey, if it's not working out with the owner, leave the team. Hey, if it's not working out with the owner, leave the team. Like right now, players are just coming out and saying, look, I don't like playing with the team. I'm leaving. Hey, Anthony Davis, I don't want to be with the Pelicans. I'm leaving. So if I'm a small market and if I'm getting ready to spend $2 billion to buy a team, say $2 to $3 billion to buy any team in the NBA today, if I'm a small market, what makes Michael think he's going to be able to keep LaMelo Ball for more than 7 years before he goes to Celtics or he goes to Miami or he goes to the Lakers? Or, what makes Milwaukee think they can keep Giannis for another 4 years? Yeah, they just signed a contract, but almost the smaller markets are being bullied more today, but maybe it's been the same for decades. You're in it. What are your thoughts on it?
No, that's changed. I mean, I personally hate this. I hate the fact that you can celebrate a long-term extension. Your Giannis example is a perfect one. You feel like you got him locked up. You make these incredible financial commitment, all fully guaranteed the second he signs it, no matter what. And then he can James Harden his way out of here in a year or two. I mean, Harden just did it in Houston. As soon as it got unpleasant, as soon as they weren't consulting him on every move or whatever, he became crabby, cantankerous, and bogarted his way right out of his deal. and undercuts the trade value on his way out because everybody in the league knows what the deal is. And it's a disturbing trend in the NBA for sure.
Yeah, all it does to me is I wonder. Let's just say if I'm about to own a sports team, would I buy a small market or buy into a small market? Not in today's league. I would be very concerned about being a small market in today's league. It would concern the hell out of me because today it's such a player's market that players are essentially bullying everybody. It's full on bullying. They are bullying everybody. Now, don't get me wrong. If we go back in the 80s, we could say Jerry, the GM, was bullying everybody on the Bulls. So there was an element of that taking place. So the happy medium is kind of tough to be. It's almost like we go far one side, it's GM or ownership control. Then we go too much of a player side, it's player control. But we all know that LeBron's eventually going to own a sports team. So how do you manage that, balance the two between the player and the owners? And the reality today, I would not want to own a sports team today if it was in a small market.
Sort of depends on which league you're in. Green Bay Packers doing okay, right?
That's the NFL though. Yeah.
In the NFL, they're all profitable because of the way they share revenues and because of the massive media.
I agree.
So every single team in the NFL is profitable, no matter how bad they screw it up. Just look in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Right? And then in the NBA, with more revenue sharing now, the smaller markets have become, and with a subsidy from the league effectively, the smaller markets have become much more healthy financially. And then you do have some superstars who have maintained a significant presence in a small market. I mean, Damian Lillard right now seems just fine in Portland. Giannis is a good example. He's re-signed twice in Milwaukee, and they're one of the best teams in the league because of his extreme talent. And then, of course, you had the success of the Spurs for decades in one of the smallest markets in the league. And the Utah Jazz right now are pretty darn good in a small market, and so on and so forth. So all those rules in the league tend to give those small markets a fighting chance, except baseball. That's where it's still just wacky.
So if you like this little short clip from an interview I did, click over here to watch the entire interview. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.